Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Dane, your host. I hope you're doing great wherever you may find yourselves, and blessings to all of you wonderful people out there. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 30 favorite Iron Maiden songs of all time, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Coming in last at number 30, Alexander the Great from the Somewhere in Time album. You have this wonderful, cool soundtrack like overture to begin things off. And then the main guitar comes in after that, not long after, with these marching military-style drums, which is a nice touch. Then you get the heavier guitar, then the vocals, which demonstrates, the flow of the song and where they're going, this gradual determination to get heavier, if you will. The phrasing is what makes this song tied with the pacing of all the instrumentation. So again, you have this wonderful pace throughout the whole song. The instrumentation just meshes so well with the vocal phrasing from Bruce. Approaching the 5-minute mark, you have the cinematic, theatrical-like bit again, and then, what I should say is that theatrical, cinematic bit is from the guitar, and the underlying bass that goes with it, a little bit lower in the mix, is really cool too. Got a lot of different flavors and textures and moments here. And then the last minute or so before the vocals, you get the return the guitar, which is just top-notch all around. What a great song. Very, I'm not sure if moody piece is the right word, but it has a certain, like I said, cinematic, theatrical mood. The overall tone and vibe of the song is what makes it very good, is part of what makes it. Next, number 29 is Prisoner from the British TV show. You have this creepy intro with the voiceover, I guess, from the TV show. It's been ages since I've watched that. I was very young when I watched it. I remember being disappointed by the ending, but it is what it is. So you have the, you are number 2 and all that. Who is number 1? You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man. You have the laughter, ha ha, right? Really cool. Ends with the laugh, the intro does, and then you get the drums coming in from Clive, just fabulous. Some of Clive's best work, if you ask me. Then it speeds up, of course, is what I meant to say. And then one issue I do take with the song is that the chorus is a little bit disappointing. It's missing a bit of heft. It's a little soft for me. It's okay chorus, but the rest of the song is great. Still deserves a spot here in my list. Still a great song, thematically about fate versus free will, as was the TV show, and some other things as well. Yeah, cool song. All right, number 28 is Fear the Dark. This clocks in at over 7 minutes long, so it's pretty much an epic track. You have this interesting intro, up-tempo, then softer guitars, and then the bass and the backbeat come in. It picks up close to the 2-minute mark. This part is really wonderful. It's dynamite, actually, and Dickinson's top-notch here vocally, the whole song. You have a great chorus. Guitars are inspiring here. Go figure, it's Iron Maiden. It's just a wonderful song, and it's the last song on the album, so they saved the best for the last. Not an album I really like very much, but this song is pretty much quintessential Iron Maiden, and the song comes full circle, as the band is wont to do. So, Fear the Dark, number 28. Number 27, Moonchild. You have this wonderful intro, acoustic bit, nice. What I mean is it's different. It's a nice feeling from Iron Maiden, not want to do acoustic guitar a whole lot. So it's nice, and I appreciate the wanting to do something different or experiment. That's what I was trying to say. The keyboards come in. It's a bit hesitant at first when I first heard this, but it warmed up. I warmed up to it rather. The keyboards have a Miami Vice feel to it, or a Jan Hammer feel to it, and I've warmed up to it. As I said, I do like it. It fits right in. And then the guitars kick in, and that's when I have that yes moment. Yes, this is, Iron Maiden, I know and love kind of thing. The keys are still there though, but they do work well with the guitar. And you have this progressive bit. The whole song is very progressive, but what I mean by that is that you have this Rush-like feel to it, because you have this stop, start feel to it at that point in the song. And then the vocals come in at 1:30 mark, which is riveting still for me today. The older I get, the more and more I like the song and this album, by the way. Bruce plays the voice of the devil, speaking to the protagonist in the song. It's suspenseful. The chorus is really cool. The way he belts out Moonchild is very riveting, and the guitar solo I think is phenomenal. It works very well, and the rhythm section here is amazing. This is a very powerful song if you ask me. It's the best one on the album. Next, The Evil That Men Do, number 26. You have this quote from Shakespeare, which is the title of the song in that play, The Tragedy of Julius Caesar. Antony, when he throws the conspirators under the bus, I believe in one of his speeches, rather, it's maybe a soliloquy, he says that the evil that men do live on, and very thematically rich quote from Shakespeare and very important here. So yeah, I like that. And the theatrical-like intro was fabulous. The galloping here is great. Go figure, it's Iron Maiden. The great lyrics, of course, not just the Shakespearean track here, or title and line in the song, if you will. And Bruce is playing around with his voice a little bit at first, and he goes back to what we normally expect him, or how we expect him to sing. I think he's trying to mimic some old hag or some other character in the story, but it gets to that normal voice that we know and love. The chorus is the best part of the song. It's very catchy. I love it. So The Evil That Men Do, number 26, an earworm of a song. Number 25, switching to Paul Di'Anno on vocals, Murders in the Rue Morgue, the Edgar Allan Poe influenced song, the short story of the same name. You have the slow guitar and bass intro, then you have this build up with the horror story really, taking its hold on the narrative, if you will. It's a nice touch here. You have this wonderful tone to all the instrumentation here. It picks up at the 1 minute mark approximately. You have these punk-like vocals, punk metal song, really haunting guitar. It's melodic. It's heavy at times. It's the hallmark of the band at this time. It's a great guitar tone. It's just wonderful. It's melodic, as I said. Melodic, and the bass and drums are fabulous, part of what makes the song top-notch. 25, Murders in the Rue Morgue. Number 24 is the often overplayed Run to the Hills. I don't play the song very often anymore as I used to, but when I do listen to it, I still love it. It earns its keep regardless of it being overplayed. It's still a great song. As I said, Bruce's vocals are amazing here. When he gets into that high register especially, it's just so freaking awesome. Burr's drums are amazing here, and Harrison's bass as well. The guitar, the twin guitar here is just blows me away every time I hear it. The solo is one of their best in their entire catalog. And then when Bruce sings, yeah, 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 and he builds up to that big scream, and then we get to the end, right? Just goosebumps. 24, Run to the Hills. 23, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, going to the Power Slave album. I have my master's in I have my master's in English literature. That's what I teach, the high school level, and my specialty in college was the late and early British Romantics, Byron, Shelley, Keats, Wordsworth, Blake, and Coleridge. This is obviously based on, well, if it may not be obvious, I beg your pardon. For those of us who know Coleridge and Iron Maiden, we know that this song is based on the Coleridge poem, the epic 7-part, about 50-page long poem. And setting Coleridge's poem to music, I had to, when I'm in high school at this point, or right out of high school, 88, so out of high school, I believe. Out of high school 2 years. When this came out, and I saw that, I was like, is this the Coleridge poem? It's like, it's gotta be, right? And I listened to it, and I fell in love with it immediately, and I love the live version even better. It's more theatrical, but regardless of whether the live version or the studio version on Power Slave, obviously it's in this list, so it's one of my favorite songs from the band. Bruce is a big fan of British romanticism, or British romantic poetry as well. We know this because we've seen videos of him on YouTube and other places of him talking about Blake, the romantic poet of the early era, going to his grave and giving a speech to fans surrounding the graveyard. Also a big fan of Gustave Doré, the illustrator who did the Bible and this piece by Coleridge and Dante's Inferno. So absolutely, I'm so glad that Bruce and the band decided to do this. This is a wonderful song. It's prog metal meets English/British romanticism. The music and vocals are very befitting to the poem. It's essentially a hybrid song because it's a song poem take. I think I believe my interpretation. Excuse me. It's just a great song. I love it. I can't talk enough about the song, but I won't stretch it out too long. I'll just say this, that when I saw this was on the back of the album cover, I was like, I was skeptical at first. I was meant to say earlier, and then once I put it on, as I said, I was like, fell in love immediately. I wish there was more stuff like this in the Iron Maiden catalog, where you take a piece of English poetry, and there's some of that, and just go to town and, you know, pay respects and honor that respective poet or author or novelist or whatever. And, you know, they did, what I'm trying to say is that they did the song right. They did it perfectly. It does justice to what Coleridge was achieving to do. Kudos to Iron Maiden. Thank you, Bruce. I know you had a big hand in that. Your lover of English poetry precedes you. So Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, number 23. Number 22, sticking with the literature bit here, but this time a novel talking about Dune. And of course, To Tame a Land, is the name of the song, and it has to do with the Dune novel, the Frank Herbert or Hebert Herbert, I believe, novel, the first part in a 6-part series up until he died, and his son and another author took over and then went to town and wrote tons of books surrounding the ethos and mythos that is the Dune universe. And if you know the story, Herbert wouldn't allow the band to call the song Dune because when he was alive, he said that he abhorred heavy metal or something like that, old school, you know, kind of thing. But it's nice to know that Bruce and the gang reached out to him to get approval, but it wasn't meant to be. But if we talk about the song, you have this Middle Eastern intro, which is befitting because it's a desert planet, right? The bass is just glorious and fabulous here. This is a real endeavor into Prague with Bruce in the band at this time. This is really where everything for the band pretty much really began to change direction and going into being more of a prog metal band instead of just a metal band. It's just a wonderful song. At the 7.5 minute mark, it takes you on this wonderful journey, this instrumental section, and like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, it's a song poem hybrid, and like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, they do the novel Dune. Wonderful tribute to it. They do it perfectly, I think. It's so captivating and mesmerizing and engrossing and riveting. The music is just top notch. It has a theatrical flair to it, like some of the stuff I mentioned earlier. I just love the song. When I first heard it, I was like, boy, this is different, but I fell in love with the song immediately. So To Tame a Land, 22. Next is Killers, going back to the Diano years, number 21. The song's all about the bass for me, for the most part. The intro was fabulous. Paul's yaz are amazing, his interjections. I love that punk ethos that he brings to the band at this time. Also metal, of course. The intro is long, a bit progressive. So the progressiveness with Iron Maiden doesn't start with Bruce. It really starts here. Other songs, of course, which we'll talk about later with Paul in the band. But they really get going with that progressiveness starting with this album. It's really where it hit their stride is what I mean. The guitar riffs and soling are very nostalgic to me, very special, because I had just gotten my graduation present from high school, which was a 1970 Chevelle that my dad bought from my cousin. Always looked up to my cousin, and that was his car for a while. And I remember getting Killers on a cassette, even though the album had been out for a while, and just putting this in and driving down the road, my first car, and just so nostalgic. It has a halfway mark through the song. You have this punk vibe going on, though it's brief. The rhythm is great. It's a great song. There are days when I went with this lower in my ranking. And then Bruce does a great job on Made in England Live 1988 as well. Overall, Bruce does a wonderful job singing the Paul stuff. Next is a tie, number 20, Prowler/Sanctuary. The intro to Prowler, we talk about that song first. This shows you just one example of how Iron Maiden is the master at great introductions in their songs, just all over the place throughout their discography. Punk vibe totally going on here as well. Then it shifts to a more heavy metal flair with the fast paced, total metal shredding on guitar. It's dynamite. If we talk about Sanctuary, it's a sing-along type song. With respect to the chorus, the riff is really memorable. Again, the soloing is masterful. I wish we could have had more of this and still all the Bruce stuff without skipping a beat. Love these two songs, Prowler and Sanctuary, tied at number 20. Next is Running Free at number 19. Bass is the best part, go figure. Kind of an homage to the 50s, I guess, with that line, whiskey dancing, disco hop, right? It got a punk vibe, have a hard rock vibe at the same time. All around fun song. Bruce's version is great too on Live After Death, and I love both, but Paul's my favorite version of the song. Running Free, number 19. Perhaps their answer to Judas Priest's Running Wild. Next is a song I did not like at first, but when I heard it the second time, I was like, oh, I'm all in. I'm not sure why I didn't appreciate it the first time. I'm talking about the song Total Eclipse, which is on a reissue of Number of the Beast. I don't have this on CD. I have the album on CD, but without this track. But I do have the updated version of this album on MP3, so I'm glad I have it. Not originally on the third album. The introduction, for the longest time, I'm trying to figure out, okay, this sounds like something, but it's so brief that it comes and goes, and I lose what I'm trying to say, or think rather. What I know the sound. What is this? And then it occurred to me when I listened to it a couple days ago. There's part of this intro that reminds me of Rush's song Hemispheres, and can't put my finger on it exactly, but something about it makes me think of that. It's real quick and then it's gone. This is a build-up type metal song musically, and it has oddly enough, it has an 80s hair metal vibe or tone to it, but without the hair metal vocals, of course, because you have better vocals with Bruce, and it works. Not a traditional sounding Iron Maiden song, in other words. As I said, I didn't like it at first, but it does definitely makes the cut, because on the second listen, I got it, and I love it, so it's here. The guitar solo is traditional sounding from the band. That's the only traditional part of the song, really, and Bruce's voice is perfect here. This is a great song. It's an amazing song, 18, Total Eclipse. Love that guitar solo. Number 17 is the name of the band song, whatever that's called, Iron Maiden, punk metal song, short and sweet, sing-along type song. It's a fun song despite the creepy, haunting, horror movie-like lyrics. It's their namesake song, as I said. The rhythms are stellar, and Paul's delivery is wonderful. All right, number 16 is Power Slave. Epic track, pretty much, 7 minutes, 11 seconds long. You have this heartbeat at the beginning, then this eerie noise, and then this laugh. Same thing on the live version. The riff is totally badass. I love it. Bruce's involvement in interest in Egyptian mythology at the time of this album and Live After Death is clearly obvious here. More on that later. I delved into that earlier in my life as an 18, 19-year-old young man, and I'm wondering if Bruce ever read the book that I read, one of many, which was E.A. Wallace Budge's book, From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt. If I had to guess, I'd say he has read it. But anyway, who knows? You have great lyrics here. The chorus is amazing. I love the lyrics. I'm a god. Why can't I live on? Dreamy middle section is very parallel to Tame the Land. It's different, but it reminds me of that in that way. The guitar here is beautiful. It's beautiful. Then it gets heavy again. And then the bass in this section after the solo is wonderful. Another solo follows the first one. It's wonderful. You get the motif back. And I love this. I want more of this in the Iron Maiden catalog. This is a phenomenal song. I love the song, and I've loved it since I first heard it. 15, Die With Your Boots On. You get a third perspective about war, because other songs we'll talk about later, you probably know what they are. One perspective is anti-war, and then another song you get, it's not pro-war, but it's the necessity of war to, defeat evil, essentially the Axis powers sort of thing. And this is a third perspective in the sense that it's a stoic perspective about war. And you have the prophet of disaster. Perhaps that's a reference to the papers, doing a poor job in, just being propaganda machine. And it's unclear, but I think when Bruce sings the prophet of disasters, these people in the media trying to sell, war, for profit, that kind of thing. Who knows? And profit may be a pun. Who knows? Anyway, but sometimes you have to fight is essentially the theme here. So you and to piggyback on that, this song is about that in the Middle Ages, the belief was not in Rome, but in Western and parts of Eastern Europe, the belief that you fight to the end. You go down swinging even if you know you're going to die. You're doomed to die, like in Norse mythology. The gods practice their, the Odin's troops in Valhalla practice their fighting skills every day to prepare for Ragnarok, and they know they're going to lose, yet they fight. They prepare to fight anyway. So go down swinging. Think of Lord of the Rings, Aragorn placing the sword in Boromir's hands before he dies so that he went down fighting. Cool message. The bass is great. I wonder if Bruce is singing from the perspective of a sergeant or a lieutenant preaching to his troops, perhaps. The solo, I think it's great. Has a chilling tone, like the whole album. Has that vibe and that tone, which is beautiful on this album. Cool background vocals. Really great song, Die With Your Boots On, number 15. Number 14, switching albums, 22 Acacia Avenue. 15 quid is all she asks for. This is one of the songs in the 4-part Charlotte the Harlot tetralogy. Everyone has their price, thematically rich line there. You have different tempo changes in the song, which makes it great. The slow down part, really a nice touch. And there's something about the guitar later on in the song that reminds me of Sad Wings of Destiny, something about that. Not sure what. It's kind of, I listen to it, kind of sounds like Downing and Tipton for some reason. But anyway, 14, 22 Acacia Avenue. 23, Aces High. The intro gives me goosebumps every time, live version or not. Dickinson's voice perhaps in the role of the pilot flying. This is the opposite of the song I'm going to talk about next. This is about war is often necessary, defeating the Axis, not glorifying war, but dealing with that adrenaline of, okay, we got to motivate ourselves because we got a war to win, that kind of thing. The solos are perfect for the song. Harris's bass is perfect for the song. Great backbeat with Nico on drums here, and you have this melancholy ending musically, perhaps to lay down an ambiguity with respect to meaning and interpretation. 13, Aces High. Number 12, 2 Minutes to Midnight, with that opening riff that's been done to death by so many different bands, and they disguise it with different effects pedals, or playing it faster or playing it slower. There's a video on YouTube where someone documents much of this. Venom did it before Iron Maiden. Rory Gallagher did it before Venom. You have it on the first song on Holy Diver. Jack Panzer did it. Anyway, great riff regardless of who did it first. Done many times, still great. Another anti-war song in the heavy metal catalog. Perhaps this is to Iron Maiden what War Pigs is to Black Sabbath. Blood is Freedom. Stain is a great quote from the band. Everything meshes so well in the song. Second part of the solo, the instrumental section is riveting. One of the band's best drum tracks of all time. Just a great heavy song. Number 12, 2 Minutes to Midnight. Great sing-along song as well, whether live or studio. Number 11 is The Trooper. Galloping metal song, of course. The guitar tone is phenomenal. Can't describe how great it makes me feel. Of course, this is based on the Tennyson poem about the Crimean War, and the Tennyson poem is called A Charge of the Light Brigade. 1854, and the war was fought also in 1854. The Battle of Balaclava, if I'm pronouncing that right. Anti-war song, of course. Guns to the left of me, guns to the right of me, guns in front of me, goes the poem. And you have this back and forth vocals. And what I mean by that is when Bruce begins singing, I'll take your life, but I'll take yours too. You fire a musket, but I run you through. It's like he's speaking for the other person. So that's what I mean. It's kind of pseudo back and forth, and it works great. The solo is so effing awesome here. And the run that runs through the song is even better. I like the riff more than the guitar solo, but they're both really great. So you have this perspective of the warrior that parallels other things that the band has done previously. So oftentimes, Bruce Dickinson will pull a Geddy Lee and step into the role as an actor of the character in the song that he's singing about, which is one of the wonderful things I love about Iron Maiden. So The Trooper, number 11. Number 10 is Wasted Years, one of the band's best intros of all time. I love that fast-paced intro. The bass comes in, so riveting. It goes well with that intro. Great lyrics, thematically rich, homesick, dealing with touring all the time. Perhaps this is to Iron Maiden what turned the pages to Bob Seger. Mid-tempo gallop here, great chorus. It's a love song too because of the quote, "I've got you on my mind," right? And that part is one of my favorite parts of the song. Solo's great, goosebumps every time. The song comes full circle with that intro to close things out, and then a flourish. What a great song, number 10, Wasted Years. Number 9 is Wrathchild, going back to Paul Di'Anno. Great short and sweet song, heavy rockin' tune. The tone is great, the bass intro is great. Great metal/punk song. Heavy metal version of Waiting for the Man, perhaps, is because Paul sings "Gonna Find My Man." Perhaps that's what this song is. Perhaps that's what the song is about. Perhaps not. You have this great headbanging song here. The lyrics are great. Solo's great. The vibe is very punkish. The rhythm section is dynamite, and Di'Anno's stretched wail later on in the song is just spot on. Love the song. Wrathchild, number 9. Have to get up and headbang to the song because I love Rat, right? Number 9. Oh, what I meant to say also about Wrathchild is this is all the hallmarks of a great rockin' metal song and or punk song. Number 8, Remember Tomorrow, sticking with Paul for a moment here. Great light and shade song. Di'Anno's voice is phenomenal here. Soft-spoken at times, near beautiful voice, I might add, is so great to hear it each time, or to hear time and time again. Halfway through, very progressive stylings from the band, and as I said earlier, the progressiveness of the band doesn't start with Bruce. You do have some bits of it, more of that in a bit. You have some great, amazing guitar from Murray and Stratton here, especially Murray. The lyrics are great too. We miss Paul, of course. The guitar is haunting at times, especially the guitar is haunting near the end with those vocals. So 8, Remember Tomorrow. Speaking of being progressive, number 7 is the instrumental Transylvania, one of my favorite rock metal instrumentals of all time. Very progressive metal, early progressive metal, perhaps inspiring Metallica's Injustice for All. Has a classical feel to it, and there's a bluesy metal solo, which is one of their best. And when I say classical feel, it's very orchestrated, even though it's heavy metal and rock music. The range, very, very focused on how the arrangement is set up. Great song. I won't try to mimic the song, but it's great. 6, got a biblical verse here. Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, etc. Book of Revelations. Creepy intro, therefore. The intro is stellar with the guitar and vocals. A highlight is once Bruce belts out, "Yeah," and stretches it, right? This parallels in many ways Black Sabbath. You're next online for the human sacrifice. I got to get out of here. Sometimes I'll listen to Black Sabbath and then this song as if it was a sequel. It works. Solo is just dynamite. Well, both of them, there are 2, brief as they might be. Number of the Beast, great song. Number 5, Children of the Damned. Cool intro, acoustic and electric. Bruce's voice, that's soft-spoken, is just dynamite. I wish there was more of that in the catalog. And the way he holds and extends his notes is just fabulous. Another compelling song. A lot of Iron Maiden's early catalog from the first album through and including Fear of the Dark, but mostly ending with Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Just so much riveting, compelling stuff. And Bruce plays so much into the hands of that, if you will. So another compelling song, early gripping song, and the solo is amazing. It rocks, and Clive Burr's drums are phenomenal, especially at the end of the song. We miss Clive Burr, of course. Children of the Damned, great vocal delivery from Bruce. I could write a paper on this song, maybe. Great song. Number 5, Children of the Damned. Number 4, more progressive stuff from the band, Phantom of the Opera. Slow intro, 15 seconds in, it gets super fast. I love it. Progressive metal, early progressive metal, epic track, 7 minutes, 6 seconds long. Classical touch, motif, again, it's beautifully arranged, has that classical touch in the sense of arrangement and stretching things out and different things going on. Doesn't stick to one formula. There's different textures, flavors, etc. It's a wonderful piece. Deano's voice is stellar. Horror themed stuff that the band does is so great. So glad that they returned to that on the Brave New World album. The instrumental section here, I can't get enough. I can't get enough of it, let alone the entire song. The guitar and bass and harmony is what makes this song in many ways so great. Of course, building up back to the main motif to end things. And at the end, you come full circle, and you have the wonderful last closing lines of, you haunt me, you taunt me, you torture me back at your lair, and then it's done. And the live version that Bruce does is damn good too. So, number 4, Phantom of the Opera. Number 3, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Compelling, man at the gallows, and Bruce once again has stepped into the role, acting the part, and he's very convincing. Dickinson playing a role, acting, as I said, it's very gripping. He should have wanted some sort of award for this. That's how good the song is. The vocal phrasing is one of his best, if not his best. Of course, the music speeds up at some point, and then we're in this whole song, we're in the mind of this condemned man who's going to be going to the gallows soon. And then part where Bruce sings and stretches the phrase running low, and they have that build up, and then he gets hot. Oh, it's fabulous. It blows me away every time. And the music at the end is just dynamite. Love this song. 3, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Number 2, Revelations. Pacing, one of the band's best. It's phenomenal. You have this mid-tempo to up-tempo, to and fro going on in the song. I'm not going to try to mimic. Well, you have da-da-da, da-da-da, dun, dun, da-da-da, da-da, right? Great. Slow acoustic pieces at times, which works wonders for the song. Again, kind of light and shade, very light and shade. And then what really seals the deal with this song is the lyrics. This is perhaps the most poetic song the band has ever written. I'll read some of it, not all of it. She came to me, this is the part that gives me the goosebumps the most. She came to me with a serpent's kiss as the eye of the sun rose on her lips. Moonlight catches silver tears I cry. So we lay in a black embrace, and the seed is sown in a holy place as I watched and waited for the dawn. The eyes of the Nile, you'll see, the venom tears my spine. The eyes of the Nile are opening, you'll see, da-da-da, right? You have a little bit of a juxtaposition here with the contradiction between Eye of the Sun, Horus, a god, and Black Embrace. So there's some evil black magic going in here. Why is it a black embrace? And the black embrace is in a holy place where you should not be doing it. So there's a triple juxtaposition in a sense. And the way that Bruce delivers all the lyrics here, especially this part about the lovemaking in the temple, is just spot on. And then you have the end. Who's the watcher in the ring? It is you. It is you. And then the song ends. Phenomenal, great song. Number 1, Flight of Icarus, or Icarus, however you pronounce it. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology and mythology in general. Studied it for a while. This is the most riveting of all their songs, hence still to me, hence it's in first place. The music and lyrics resonate with me so well. I love my mythology, as I said. The guitar solo is the best solo in the entire Iron Maiden discography as far as I'm concerned, and it's definitely in my top 5 of all guitar solos. I've not done a video on that. That's a difficult video to do. I may do it, I may not. Up there with Stairway to Heaven, it's that good. It's so heavy. It's got that throttle to it. That's the only way I can explain it. And of course, Dickinson has that high shriek towards the end that lasts seemingly forever, which totally makes the song as well. The tone from Smith and Murray overall is their best. I love the song. That video I love as well. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you care to make your own list in the comments, do so below. See you next time. Bye now.